Welcome to another episode of
Friends with Cars podcast.
F1 Talk.
F1 Talk.
Today we have an exciting episode. The race just ended literally minutes ago. And I want to title this episode The Little Bitch episode.
That sounds good.
The story of the little bitch. We have two little bitches.
Two little bitches.
And I want to start off. Let's start off with the first one. And I think you were probably more angry than I was. I threw my hat. So let's start with the Max.
Well, I'm wearing my Sergio Perez hat in solidarity with Sergio Perez because Max is a little bitch. I don't think I've ever been this pissed off before. Pissed off about Formula One. I understand that motorsport racing is an individual sport. Each driver wants to do good for themselves. But when the drivers' championship has been confirmed, me being Max Verstappen, the constructors' championship has already been won, wouldn't you think, to be a good team player, that you would help the other driver to be in the best possible position to get more points so that way he can get second in the driver championship? Not in this case. Max Verstappen says, fuck you, to Sergio Perez, spits in his face, and spits in the team's face, really. What I'll do right now is I'm going to insert the clip from the race with Max's team radio with his conversation at the end of the race with his engineer, and I'll clip it in right here.
Max, what happened?
I told you already last time. You guys don't ask that again to me. Okay? Are we clear about that? I gave my reasons, and I stand by it.
I think it's bullshit. It's absolutely bullshit. Max brought up last summer, he had told his team not to make this type of request. And the request being, hey, Max, we're allowing you to pass to see if you could fight Charles Leclerc. If you're not able to pass Charles Leclerc on the last lap, give Sergio Perez the position back. Fair. Well, he didn't give the position back, and he finished in front of Sergio Perez in sixth place. And at the end of the race, he says, don't ask that request of me ever again. I told you last summer, this is where I stand, and I gave you my reasons. We don't know what those reasons are. But in my opinion, last summer means 2021. So last year, 2021. But if you remember from Abu Dhabi last year, Sergio Perez did so much to help him win that Abu Dhabi race. He held back Lewis Hamilton. He fought him for like an entire lap and pushed back Lewis Hamilton and, in essence, helped Max Verstappen win the race, right?
Absolutely.
I don't know. I can't gather my thoughts. It's mind-blowing. I know you threw your hat in the middle of the race. What are your thoughts?
Well, not only that, I think, and again, we don't know what happened last summer, what that reference was about, but even last season, what the vivid memories I have of it was the couple times, at least minimum two, that Sergio was pulled into the pits to get the soft tires, to try to get the fastest lap, to get that point away from whomever had it, to give Max a chance.
Yeah.
And it was very clear that the strategy was for Max to win and that he was there to help.
And the team did that successfully at least two times. And that close margin is what made the race close last year in Abu Dhabi. You know, those type of scenarios. And there are other things that came into play, but Sergio Perez was more than a team player. And again, he knew his position and he knew his role, and he completed that role and was successful in that role. But again, going into this season, Max has already won the Drivers' Championship. Why not do your best to help your teammate?
Absolutely. And listen, I can be the devil's advocate and say, hey, you're the driver. You're the number one driver. You should never give up your position. You should never give up your spot. This is, even though it's a team sport, if you're not going for the gap, you shouldn't be. I mean, I can try to do the devil's advocate and try to get the different angles on it. But the bottom line is, if you're Max, you've already won the most races out of anybody, or P1 positions out of anybody in the history of F1. We can put an asterisk because there's more races than there used to be. Doesn't matter. He already won a lot. Second of all, he already won the championship. Third, he wasn't going to get pole.
No.
He was not in first place that he's going to, you know what, guys, I want to get this pole and add to my record. Even that I could understand.
Yeah. This is for sixth place.
And the fact that you have a chance to have the champion, the second place driver, and the Constructors' Championship. I mean, it's the Holy Trinity. You would have had all three. You would have been the number one team. And for you to not even do that for the team, not just even Paris, for the team, to be able to say Red Bull dominated so much that they got the number one driver, the number two driver, and the constructors. The fact that he wasn't willing to do that, I don't even know what reasons you would have, and I don't really care.
No. Because even though you have bad blood, and it doesn't appear to be bad blood, I don't know what circumstance or what situation Max Verstappen is talking about. But again, do it for the team. Like this is the first year where you guys are absolutely dominant, and to have a 1-2 drivers championship finish with the constructors championship, the whole Holy Trinity, as you called it, like why wouldn't you do that for the team?
Well, and additionally, I know you didn't hear it. You didn't hear Checo's radio.
Yeah, I was trying to pull that
but
up.
we can probably find it and add it here.
We'll add it here.
Yeah. Thank you for that, guys. Thank you.
I'm sorry about that, Checo.
He told John Checo, fail 84. We'll debrief everything afterwards.
Yeah, it shows who he really is.
Where he made the comment, the team got on the radio and they apologized to him. They said, "We're sorry, Checo. We asked," and Checo's comment was, "That's okay, guys. We know the kind of person he is." So I don't know what happened. I don't know where the bad blood started. I don't know I know there's reports that he stopped on following him. Checo's not following Matt's social media. What's important is about that. What's important is race-wise, team-wise. That was a team move that could have happened. Should have been a team decision. I didn't hear Christian Horner on the radio. I didn't know if he got on the radio or said anything. I know before the race, he made a comment that we need to do everything we can to help Checo now I'm thinking he was probably preempting that comment because he knew that Max was against it for whatever reason. It'd be interesting to see what happens afterwards, but extremely disappointing to see a team that pretty much has it all not working together to make sure that the team is the actual true number one team.
Well, and it's not the team, right? It's one person. It would have been super shitty if they didn't get back on the radio and say, hey, let Sergio by. The team actually requested it, and that's the right thing to do. The thing is, you have a little douchebag who didn't follow team orders, or not even a team order, a team request. It's like, it's just fair to allow your team member who let you by, in essence, just to let him get back by and finish in that sixth place position.
And it happened in qualifying as well yesterday. That was the comment was Sergio was behind Max. There was an opportunity. I'm starting to qualify for sprint race. There was a radio from Checo that's saying, "Can I get that position? I need the points." Again, Max was not going to get first place. He was already behind. He could have easily slowed down, let Checo go in ahead. Again, I totally understand that you're a driver and you don't want to give your position up for any reason, but you're already number one. You've already won so much. And you probably could have passed him anyway, since you're that much better of a driver, according to Max, and he is an incredible driver. He probably could have let Sergio get ahead of him and still pass him.
Yeah.
During the race. It's those little things that he needs a second driver to win the championship. I think, unfortunately for Checo, I don't see Checo giving up and not doing a good drive just to hurt Max, because he's probably going to do his best no matter what, because he wants to succeed. But that's going to benefit Max, and it's unfortunate that Max is not willing to pay it back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pay it forward.
So are you saying that Sergio Perez is not going to hold this against Max? And because Sergio Perez is playing the team game, but you recall 2 seasons ago on Drive to Survive where we saw Bottas give another team a tow on the main straight. It's like, can you see Sergio Perez doing little shisty things like that?
You know what? I can see it. What I'm saying is I don't see it to a detriment of his drive. I think I see it to the detriment of Max's. So if I can see that if I call him in, hey, Checo, can you come in and get fresh tires and get us the fastest lap to take the point away?
No.
I can see him to go in, get the tires if it's possible. But if it's going to benefit him to get the point, he will. I don't think that he'll do it if it's going to benefit Max. I think there might be less of that happening next season.
Yeah.
I think there'll be less. I think this season, even this season, you saw it. I mean, Checo, congrats to Max, trying to help him out, playing the team game. I don't think that's going to be as easy next season. And I want to say that's the same issue that Ricardo had and the same issue that Albon, every other drivers had. We know that Max is a difficult driver. I don't think I've ever seen him be as vocal even on the radio saying I'm not doing something. Mm-hmm. Again, I don't know what happened. We don't know the intricacies of it. But just from the outside looking in, if you listen to the radios, it seems to me that Max is a super mega douche.
Yeah. This is creating a lot of turmoil already. I don't know the inner workings of the team, but this is going to create a lot of turmoil. And unfortunately, it's unfortunate for Sergio Perez because he's still just the number 2 driver, right? Even though Max is a douchebag and he's going against team orders, the team's not going to do anything. They're going to talk to him about it, but they're not going to do anything. And Sergio Perez is just going to be on the wayside still, being the wingman for the team.
Oh, absolutely.
It's unfortunate for him.
And I think there's a huge difference between the team being the villain and your teammate being the villain. And this is a perfect example of Mercedes. I think Bottas got shafted by Mercedes, not by Hamilton. And I think that was the thing, because many times, and we talked about this during the race, many times during the race, Hamilton would say, where's Bottas? And when Hamilton already had won, you can tell that he was pushing and kind of helping make sure that Bottas was there. A few times you see him make sure that they were slowing down enough so Bottas can get the DRS and they can both get ahead. Again, not necessarily saying I'm going to be a better driver, I'm going to leave Bottas behind, but still playing the team game. And the team, Mercedes itself, was the bad guy. Yeah. They were making the calls for Lewis. So maybe Lewis asked for it, but it doesn't matter. It looks like whoever shafted Bottas, it was Mercedes, not Lewis. In this case, it seems to me that it's 100% Max shafting Sergio Perez. That's a different story. I'm angry. I'm still angry.
We've never really liked Max Verstappen. I know he's. I was really happy for him last, or what was it, in Mexico? It was in Mexico when he was in Mexico. No, Japan.
No, Japan.
It was in Japan when he actually won his first world championship. Won it. I take back all feelings that I have. Like, I do not like him. Like, I absolutely do not like him. That's a douchebag move. Yeah. I don't know of any other driver that's had that maybe has been that vocal about it, I guess.
Yeah. I can see Alonso when he was racing with Hamilton. I know there was a couple of other shiesty moves going around. Again, it seemed like it was the team involvement of the whole thing as well. Not a direct driver-to-driver animosity the way we're seeing with Max. And, of course, that was a while ago, and I think Alonso's getting a little bit back from his team and pushing, being a shy. I mean, again, another person that should be on the next podcast is Ocon. I think Ocon is the root of the problem of any teammate that he's got.
We did talk about that.
He should belong to the little bitch episode.
Yeah. That'll maybe, that might be a segment.
Yeah.
The little bitch episode.
Yeah, the little bitch episode, and then we'll just bring back whoever's been a little bitch. I think Ocon has a history. We felt it was probably Perez back in the day when he was with Perez. Now we're seeing that it's probably Ocon. Anyway, we'll revisit that one.
Yeah, well, it's the saying that you say if you run into an asshole in the morning, if you run an asshole all day, you're the asshole.
You're the asshole. That's right. So I think that's the way it goes. But yes, that was the Max. Anyway, fuck you, Max.
Fuck you.
Going on with the little bitch episode, Charles Leclerc. Chuck. The balls on this guy. I want to say there's been 2 times, and again, this is probably mostly created by the team. And I'm trying to remember the race, but there was a race where Carlos was ahead. There was a restart. Carlos had fresh tires, and the radio came on and said, back up the pack.
Oh, yeah.
To allow Charles to get ahead. And Carlos gets on the radio saying, you cannot do this to me, guys. Please don't ask these things of me. And, of course, he went on to get the podium. And that was a ridiculous request by the team. He was on brand new tires. Charles was not. There was no way he wasn't going to pass him. He had the pace. But the team asked Carlos to back up and let Charles win, clearly signifying who the first driver was. Of course, that didn't happen, and it shouldn't have happened. It made sense. That's not a request that you make of a teammate when obviously you have everything to win.
No, there's a difference though, because it's more acceptable if it's not for a podium.
Right.
That instance was for a podium, right?
Yes.
And going to this one too, it was for a podium.
It was for a podium. And once again, now this wasn't Carlos, but Charles gets on the radio. And he's telling him in a roundabout way, think about the championship, guys. Think about the points. What he's asking is, I want to finish in second place. Please let me through. Tell Carlos to back the fuck up and let me get this podium. That is a ridiculous request.
Yeah.
When Carlos is still in the running for, I believe Carlos is still in the running for driver.
Yeah, you know what? And you're saying it's a request, but the team radio is pathetic.
Absolutely.
There were 2 times where Leclerc came on the radio and requested. I don't want to say requested. I'm going to say begged. He begged the team to demand Sainz give up the position so he can be in front of Sainz and get more points. When Sainz was clinical, and granted Leclerc had the incident in the first or second lap, but Sainz was clinical. He did a really good race. Why? It's a ridiculous request. Why would the team even entertain an idea to push Sainz back, lose that 3rd place position, and allow Leclerc to be in front just because of the Drivers' Championship?
I agree. And for the record, Sainz had a 5-grid penalty, so he started 7th. So wasn't that?
But that was due to an engine.
To the engine. So, I mean, so he had an incredible drive to finish 3rd.
Right.
So there really is no, he wasn't given anything. He didn't start at the top. He didn't lose grid spaces. He was able to do it. So, again, part of this little bitch episode is what the hell was going on in Brazil?
And I don't want to take away from Charles Leclerc's drive today. He had that incident where he actually went into the wall. He had a pit, and he had a 3 pit stop race today and still ended up 4th, both Ferrari drivers.
Yeah. No, I think at one point we both said, how the hell did he get up there so fast? So yes, he did an incredible job. But for him to get on the radio and beg to say, please guys, think of the points. Fuck you. And again, I think my comment was that one time where Vettel was driving and he was ahead of Leclerc, and Leclerc wanted to get ahead, and they told Vettel, let him through, and Vettel says, tell him to get closer. This is exactly what happened this time around. He's asking the other driver who's in the podium position to slow down so that he can catch up and pass him. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. I like how the team responded, though, and they pretty much said that it's too much of a risk.
Yes.
And it is. It really is. But that is kind of that was a roundabout way of saying, no, not a good idea. But it was because, was it Ocon or was it Alonso? Alonso was only 1.2 seconds or 1.4 seconds
Right.
behind.
Alonso could have had a chance.
There was an opportunity for Alonso to pick up the scraps if they were trying to make that switch. And again, Leclerc doesn't have all that information, but the request itself, just outrageous.
Absolutely. And again, this was Charles begging on the radio, which is ridiculous. That's why he's a little bitch. It wasn't Sainz being told to do anything and him refusing, and it was a shit show.
Yeah.
It was a shit show.
The whole race was a shit show. I don't think this was on the list, but just all the incidents in the first, second, and maybe even it was the first and second lap.
Yeah.
A lot of incidents. Crazy.
Yeah.
Weird race.
But yeah.
I'm so mad. I'm boycotted. I'm boycotting Max.
I think we're all boycotting Max after this. That was ridiculous.
That's why this hat's a Mexico hat. This is the Sergio Perez hat.
This is the Sergio Perez hat.
Sergio Perez hat.
I think the only way for Max to learn is for everybody to boycott him and Red Bull. I don't know if that would I don't know how that works, though.
Yeah. He's got enough support in the Orange Army, but...
Here's the thing. Perez got a multi-year deal.
Yeah.
So, he's got at least 2 more years on his contract. I don't even know how that's going to play out if this is where we're at right now. When your guy, who's a little bitch, is number 1, essentially the best driver on the grid, the most points of anybody, the most podiums in whatever, and you're being this big of a dick, I can imagine next year when he's not getting first place podiums. I mean, how's that going to work?
Yeah. What team do you think Sergio Perez could go to now that all the other teams have seen that he's doing really well for them? Like, what if the really sour and he either opted to get out of the contract or Red Bull released him? What team can we see him at?
Listen, in a perfect
Ferrari?
I was going to say, in a perfect world, you get rid of Charles Leclerc, you replace him with Sergio, you push Sainz, and you would have a great 1-2 team on that.
But again, it's a 1-2.
It's a 1-2. In a perfect world, Hamilton retires, Perez can take over the seat. It would do well. Now, Do I want Hamilton to go? No, I want Russell to go. I can't stand that guy. And I don't even listen. I don't know him, but I think I hate him. Right? He's the reason for my misery, and I don't know why. Though I was glad when he passed Max yesterday and he got the podium, I was excited for him. The minute he crossed the finish line, I was like, God damn it, I hate that guy.
Still mad. Yeah.
So, but again, I think he's a little. He belongs in the Little Bitch episode as well. He's a little whiny guy. So, not a fan of that. But yeah, I think Sergio's a top tier driver, and I think your top 3 teams will be glad to have him if the situations were in a good spot.
Ooh, what about if this whole Piastri thing doesn't work out? Like Piastri doesn't deliver and he can go to McLaren.
I think he'd do well in McLaren. And McLaren is not a number 1, 2 team. It's not. They're probably top 5.
Yeah.
I think Sergio can get him there. Lando's a great driver. Obviously, he's shown that he can do a lot with the car. I think they had some reliability issues this season. If next year they come back stronger, yeah, I think Sergio's one of those drivers where he's going to be a winner by pure hard work and sweat. He is
Mexican way right there.
He's a very skilled driver. He's a very skilled driver. He maybe doesn't have the pizzazz that the Hamiltons and the Maxes, but maybe we just haven't seen it yet. But he's demonstrated that he can win. He's demonstrated that he can be consistent, and obviously he's in the running for second place as a driver.
Yeah. Well, Max is not helping that.
Max is not helping that, and we can't stand him. We're done with him.
Yeah.
I only have one last comment. I don't know if you have anything else, but
No, I have nothing else.
There's really no commentary on this other than Mick Schumacher needs to go. Bring back Hulkenberg.
Yeah. Yep.
Bring back the Hulk.
Hulkenberg would be good.
It's Haas. It'll be a steady guy.
Yeah.
They can help you out. They can produce. You got K-Mag and Hulk, which they don't get along, so they're going to push each other. I'm here for this.
Well, and we mentioned that last podcast, and I think there was bad blood, but I think I read something where Magnussen said, I'm okay with Hulkenberg being my team. If that was the scenario, I would be okay with Hulkenberg being my teammate. So yeah, they would definitely push each other.
I think Haas needs that.
I would like him to come back and finally get his podium. Or I'm sorry, he has a podium. Or has he ever had a podium?
No, I don't think he's
No
ever got a
podium and no win.
No podium.
Okay,
no win.
let's start with the podium. I would like to see him on the podium and then eventually get his first win.
I think what's been tried and true in all the teams is in order for them to develop a better vehicle is to have the experienced drivers. Perez being one of those guys, K-Mag coming back and doing that for them, Alonso coming back and helping out the team. I think Hulkenberg will be a great fit. Get has to develop a little more and come back stronger now that they've gotten their first podium or pole since 1975.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens next season.
All right. Well, once again, this was our little bitch episode.
Yep.
And that was a tribute to Max and Charles. Bitches.
Well, this might be a new segment maybe.
Yeah, the little bitch.
All right.
I like it.
Thanks, guys. See you next time.
Cheers.